Great, good afternoon. We're going to do things a little differently today. We'll start with our guest who has some brief remarks, and then I'll do the briefing. So we're delighted to be joined here by Ambassador Martin Sajdik, the President of the Economic and Social Council, which, as you know, the ECOSOC just finished a meeting on Ebola, which I believe is still going on. Sir, welcome, and you have the floor.
Thank you very much. It is indeed still going on, and it's actually a very interesting panel, and I can only recommend you, if you find time, to follow it. It was, as always with Ebola, it was obviously moving, but I would like to tell you what is the focus of ECOSOC. ECOSOC's focus was in the meeting not providing now in emergency aid or helping to provide emergency aid. The focus of this ECOSOC meeting is the economic and social recovery of the affected countries. We were able not only to have the Secretary General and the President of the General Assembly taking part in the meeting, but also involving via video link with West Africa, the ministers from the affected country, from Guinea, from Sierra Leone, and from Liberia. And as Mali is also a newly affected country, Mali was represented by the Chargé d'Affaires of Mali here in New York. We also had via video link Dr. Chan from WHO and Dr. David Nabarro, the Secretary General's Special Envoy on Ebola. And so it was very interesting and moving to learn from the ministers of the affected country about the economic effects of Ebola on these countries, on the affected countries. And it is obvious, but still you have to hear it, how much these countries were not only affected by the disease, with people dying and the numbers of deaths that we have heard, but also that the economy has been going down. You could see they had growth expectations that were beyond the growth figures for 2014 in comparison to 2013, and now in each of the countries the growth figures are much lower than expected, and there is still some growth that is foreseen, but not anymore in the two-digit numbers, but only in Liberia only 1%, and in Guinea it has gone down from the projected 6% to also only 1%. So the effects on the economy are disastrous because it is also the transport system has been dysfunctional because of the militarization of preventing or a further outbreak of the conflict with curfews. So this has obviously affected the economy in all the three countries. And then there is also the aspect that we should not underestimate. And Dr. Chan from WHO said it very clearly this morning. She said that the fear of the virus travels faster than the virus itself. And I think this statement is really clear, because it says clearly how the economy was affected, especially in aspects of cooperation with foreign countries. The minister from Guinea, and the name of the minister is Mohamed Diarra, he said that one project with China, with Sinalco, it's the 20 billion investment project in bauxite, has been come to a halt. Because there are no technicians coming, and the inter-exchange is missing. Port structures are obviously also not operating in the way they were foreseen. Vessels don't come as foreseen. So this project has come to a halt, and this would have been for the economy of Guinea extremely essential. The same was also mentioned by the Minister of Sierra Leone, not linking it to a specific project, but also mentioning that especially the mining sector has been directly affected, and foreign investments in the mining sector in Sierra Leone have been directly affected. So when we speak about helping the countries in the future, we also have to understand that it is not only helping them in the infrastructure to improve the medical infrastructure, but it is also that we have to again help them to come up on their feet. And the Deputy Minister of Economy of Liberia said, and let me quote this directly, and I think that's also very clear. We must protect the success story of Liberia since the civil war ended and the investments that have been made. There was this Liberia after the civil war was really getting back on its feet. And now, again, we heard that this has been the successes that have come from peace building in Liberia. All these successes, the success stories, have disappeared. And we have to help them to come back on their feet again. And there was a direct address also to the international financial agencies. But we know that Dr. Kim from the World Bank has gone to the region, has been there, and is working also together with the IMF on solutions on how to address this problem. So I do think that ECOSOC was right to have this meeting after the General Assembly and also after the Security Council has been addressing Ebola. ECOSOC has been facing on the issues of the economic recovery of the affected countries after the outbreak. Unfortunately, and this also has to be mentioned, that the cases, as we heard now, in Sierra Leone and in Guinea are going up again. In Liberia, the cases are going down, and in Mali, as we understand, they have been able to contain it and have no more outbreaks. But unfortunately, in both Guinea and in Sierra Leone, cases go up again, and in Sierra Leone, not only like in Guinea, in rural areas, but also in the capital, Freetown. And so it is, unfortunately, and this is the second aspect and the second result, if I may say so, of this meeting, that although we wanted to focus only on the economic recovery, we still have to also focus on fighting the a re-outbreak of the and the re-emergence of the disease. One other figure that I would like to mention is that the minister from Sierra Leone said that only 5% of the aid of the international aid went to the national system of Sierra Leone. Now, that doesn't say that nothing arrived in Sierra Leone, but the donors and the agencies implement themselves, and only 5%. I cannot. I only repeat what he said. Whether this is now true or not, I cannot, so to say, I cannot prove, and I don't know. But it is an interesting figure that tells us the problems that these affected countries have if this figure is true. So I think that is more or less a report of what we have heard this morning, and I think it was timely to do it, and it was, as I already said, it was moving, but it was also, it also ended on a positive note, as Dr. Chan from WHO said that if you compare the situation with 1 year ago, there is improvement. And she said there are positive elements. She spoke about that now there is more vaccine there. There is a clear hope that there will be vaccines. 1 year ago, nobody ever spoke of a vaccine against Ebola, and that there are also other means to fight the virus, to fight this scourge, and that within this year the international community has been able to put in place mechanisms to really fight Ebola and to come to grips with Ebola. She also said that she does not preclude that there will be further outbreaks of Ebola, but will have the means to fight for it. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Pam?
Ambassador Sajdik, Mr. President, thank you on behalf of the UN Correspondents Association for the briefing. It's a very important and compelling issue. And I'm Pamela Falk from CBS News. You know that. My question is, the Secretary General mentioned that there was a third outbreak of Ebola in UNMIL in the military personnel and that they're dealing with it. But do you believe that there's adequate protection for the aid workers and the military personnel this was Liberia? And just to follow up on your 5% quote on Sierra Leone, do you find that a very small percent of the international aid is getting to other countries? I mean, what is your overview of aid actually arriving? Thank you.
Well, I do believe that although we have these outbreaks, I do believe that the knowledge is here and the know-how is existing how to at best prevent UN troops to be infected and effective. There are cases, unfortunately, but if you look at the figures, then one still has to say, fortunately, the figures are not higher, and that shows that there are mechanisms in place to prevent that these contagious disease affects the UN personnel. As to the aid workers, unfortunately, we always hear of new cases, less and less, fortunately, by foreign aid workers. But also this cannot be precluded that other foreign aid workers will be affected again and will be infected. Although I think we do now understand how the mechanisms work of how it is contagious. I hope I express myself correctly in English. How you can be infected, and how you fight it in a way that you cannot be infected. And so this is also, in comparison, let's say, to 1 year ago, we know much more about how to not be infected.
And on the aid getting.
And on the aid, well, the minister did not say that the aid does not get to the country. It doesn't get into the national system of Sierra Leone. So the aid is in place. He did not say that it doesn't come, but it does not. It doesn't go into the national budget or into the national system of Sierra Leone.
Sure. Matthew Lee, Inner City Press, on behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access. Thanks for the briefing. I wanted to ask, the IMF has done some things. It's issued a program for the 3 countries, but there's an outstanding request that it engage in a debt write-off or relief for the 3 countries that has yet to be acted on. And I wanted, since I know that the ECOSOC has some relationship, or that the international financial institutions, the Bretton Woods institutions, are in some. Do you supervise them? I know you bring them in sometimes for interaction, But what would you like to see the IMF do, and what do you think concretely out of today's meeting of the members of ECOSOC and those who attended? Are you seeking contributions? Are you seeking them to act in other fora? What's the action plan for today's meeting?
I think maybe there is one mistake that I briefed you too early, because there is the representative of the IMF sitting there in the meeting, and I expect her to also take the floor. And because the discussions we have been so long time-wise, and the interventions, so I simply don't know what the representative of the IMF will say, and I guess she will say something. And also the ministers have spoken that they work with the international institutions on the issue of debt relief.
But I guess just one follow. I'm always trying to understand, in setting up such an ECOSOC meeting, do you envision it, and do you encourage the people that come and speak to make some pledge, or is the idea to sort of focus world attention on the development problems caused by the Ebola crisis, or is this a forum to sort of come out with a plan, pledges?
Well, it's actually both. It is we on the one hand we try to create a momentum of countries to, if they think that they make pledges for or organizations for the future, or also to report on what has been done. And we had an intervention also from the delegate of France, and this was really impressive what France has been doing, and how France has been helping the affected countries. President Hollande also, just traveled to the region. So I do think, to be honest, it is both.
Mr. President, thank you very much. I know you have another appointment, and then we'll do the briefing in about 2 seconds.
Thank you very much.